Hello and welcome to this video series. I am here in Kochi with architect Sebastian Jose. He is the founder principal of Shilpi Architects in Kochi. I am in his beautiful office and we are here to talk about an interesting project backed by an interesting material from FunderMax. I must say that architect Sebastian has used FunderMax's levers, and he's been the first architect to start using FunderMax's levers. If I have my facts right, not only in India but even internationally. And I think he goes by the saying, practice what you preach. I was interacting with him and I just got to know he's using these levers not only in his projects but in his own home. He has used the FunderMax's levers. Having said that, we are here today to discuss one special project, that is the Nate Builders Commercial Complex in Calicut. Before I get to the discussion, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me also.
I think the weather is doing well and the nature in Kochi always treats us well. So we will move straight into our questions for your Nate Builders Commercial Complex in Calicut. If you can begin with telling us what was the brief of this project and how did you translate your architectural vision into designing this project?
So this is a very dense commercial area, one of the older commercial areas in Calicut, very close to the SM Street, the very famous SM Street, and it's a very busy commercial area and a very thriving area. And there are these very small shops. These are not big shops, but they are very small shops, but they do a lot of business. So there was a need for aggregating a lot of these smaller shops. So that's when the builder came in. He acquired a smaller frontage, but he had a larger space in the backside. So the frontage of the building is not much, but then it is. So we were trying to aggregate a lot of these smaller shops and give them space and combine it in a unified commercial space. So that's the whole,
Right. Considering it's a commercial development, what were the key design features that you focused on while designing it, both from a functionality and aesthetic standpoint?
So for a commercial building, for these kind of commercial building, they look at visibility. All the shops need visibility. So how to address when you're packing so many in a small space, how each of them are given visibility. So we devised an atrium, very small but interesting space that we worked out. And then through this atrium, the street is drawn in. Somebody is drawn in to the street, and we created levels. So from the street, you slightly go up, and then there is you half floor down and half floor up, and then there's these escalators which take you further to the upper floor. So it's all connected, and it's an extension of the street. So how you draw people walking on the street into your building. So that was the core idea behind what we did there. And then it is like all these shops are all looking into the street, but our building is slightly inside. So how to address that? So that was the key challenge of the project.
Right. I believe today in India, when we talk about modern architecture, it's not only about leveling yourself to what's happening globally, but it's also about bringing in the local context. So how did the local and urban context of Calicut influence the overall design of this project?
So these are like the street is an extremely walkable street. Has a nice vibe to it, and it has an old world charm. So when you build something new, you cannot just copy an old building and put it there. It has to belong to the times. So, and then the site also, how it also through its own challenges. So how we did is we were trying to have the core idea, that is all these shops are visible from the road itself, and then but we were trying to draw people inside. So so that's how all the three floors, the first three floors are extremely transparent. So you can see all the shops from the road itself. And then there are the upper floors, which are mainly go downs and some residential areas. They are actually there we've used the FunderMax thing because they don't need the visibility, but then so that part actually jets out above the normal skyline of that area. And the skyline of this area is dominated by the tiled roofs. So we didn't want to put another tile roof on top because it will look like a monstrous thing. So we were trying to use the color of the FunderMax, which actually matches with the tile roof, the weathered tile roof. So that's how we were trying to blend in our own way. But it's a very modern building. It's not. It belongs to today. And that's how it is connected to the locality.
Nice. You know, they say the first impression is the last impression. So when you enter a project, even before you see the inside, you're seeing the exteriors of the project to even build a perception that how this is going to look inside. So I think here FunderMax has played a very crucial role from you, because facade is something that actually forms, you know, the look of the structure majorly. And the facade in this project features the FunderMax's material applied in a louver format. So if you can tell us what made you choose the louver format for this project, plus why FunderMax?
Yeah, so louver format actually really works in a climate like Kerala, because we need permeable facades, facades that can breathe, that can partially let in light, control the light, but at the same time let the air pass through. You have the visibility also. So that kind of permeable facades is how I hit upon FunderMax as a tool for, you know, devising this permeable facade. So that's how you know, I started using it few years back in one of my projects, again with the same builder. It was a chance encounter with FunderMax. We had used FunderMax for external facades. But suddenly I had this idea, why don't we use FunderMax in a different fashion? We were looking at aluminum and other materials, cotton, steel and all for the facade. But then suddenly I had this thought, and why not use FunderMax? It's a much lighter material, and then we devised a system where it could be used as a louver. And this actually is in a major highway, so the facade has a kinetic feel to it, you know. It keeps changing because the angle, as you drive in, you get different, you know, the facade looks different, you know, as you drive in. So that's how this thing suddenly came up, and then it was implemented. The project came out really well, and the FunderMax, the colors and everything really worked well, and it worked for both of us.
Yes, in fact, I was coming to the colors. You have used 3 specific decors in the louvers. So what inspired the combination? What is the combination, if you could also tell us that? What inspired it, and how did it articulate the facade narrative?
Yeah, we were trying to respond to the earthy, the weathered tile roof color. So colors that were chosen from that palette, shades of brown, some grays added to it, and then it's not a plain color also. These are like it has even it's not a single palette. It has multiple colors in that same panel itself. So we were trying to relate to that. So that's how the color selection came about.
So it would be right to say that the selection of this material has given you the required design flexibility, and from a durability point of view, what could you elaborate more?
Durability point of view, because it's a very lightweight material, and we wanted something which could last a long time. And then that, I think FunderMax has been a good decision for us in that side, and also because it's self-cleansing. You know, you don't need to clean every time, clean that often. And so the self-cleansing property of the material also works in our favor. So I have been using FunderMax over the years in many situations, and I'm getting more confident about the material. So that's how this project also got.
I think using louvered facades bring in, you know, a certain kind of texture and rhythm.
Yes.
And you've already told us about the kinetic, you know, look and feel of this facade. One, of course, you have spoken about your intentions behind using this facade, but how did the rivet application support that as well?
Yeah, rivet application, I think is the best possible, you know, way to, you know, fix the material, and it's very easy and very fast in installation, and it stays there. It lasts a longer time because, you know, and then there's no rusting and all that. And yeah, and then colors also match. So you don't really realize that there is something. It's been fixed like that. And also, yeah, and then because these are all kept in different angles, you really can't make out because you don't directly see the front. You always see, and as you walk along the street, you see different angles of the facade. So so it was also concealed. So yeah.
So does that also mean you get to see different textures and patterns?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, very interesting. Yes, nice. In terms of execution, how did the material perform? And any insights into the installation process, detailing, and how did it adapt to the local weather conditions in Calicut?
Yeah, we've used in a mild steel framework.
Okay.
And painted with a epoxy paint. But we've been using that system. It's in our project in Cochin also, which has similar weather conditions. So it has worked, and then we have some good fabricators who can now do the system, and it's very easy. We've worked out a very simple detailing system to fix it, and it didn't take much time. We could do it very fast, and it was a very easy installation, and the FunderMax local people also really helped us do that, and we worked with them in working out the details, discussing with it, and now we've been using this product for some time, that we are more and more confident about using it. So yeah, so and then it's a teamwork with the FunderMax team.
I'll come to the point of sustainability. So sustainability is today key, not only like when we talk about the real estate segment as a whole, when you come to project designs, usage of materials that help fulfill that sustainability goal. How does this project reflect your commitment to sustainability, and how did FunderMax's product support you in fulfilling this commitment?
Yeah. Whenever you choose a product for a building, nowadays you are very conscious about the origins of the product and the green credentials of the project and the carbon footprint of each of these also products. So that's where I think FunderMax really scores. The raw material that goes into FunderMax is really sustainable. So that way the product is really recommendable for all these projects, because it's a very as an architect, one has to be really responsible in what you choose. So okay, we really feel confident about using it, because it's a right material for this time.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could just describe this project a little more to me in terms of the number of floors, what is the infrastructure and the composition of the project like?
So it's like 3 floors of commercial, 2 floors of other uses, and then the basement floor as a parking. So the top 2 floors didn't need the visibility, so that's where we could use the FunderMax, and those 2 floors actually float above the skyline of this area. So that's where FunderMax facades, which actually match with the color of the weather tiles, were used, so that from a distance actually it blends well with the other colors of the area.
Nice. I think this has been some fabulous insights to my question, but then that will also bring me to my last question. But if you had to describe your association with FunderMax in a word or sentence, what would it be?
Yeah, it's been a great journey together, and I am looking forward to a long association.
Thank you so much for your inputs. I think it's been a pleasure, and we are looking to much more associations with your firm and with you, with Shilpi Architects. And thank you so much for your time. And hopefully we will be interacting with you next time at a project site. So absolutely looking forward to that. Thank you and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.